Hi, this is Roger in Finland, and today we're gonna take a look at the Voigtlander 42.5mm f.95 for Micro Four Thirds mount. So maybe let's start this video by saying that if you're looking for a fast autofocus lens, this is not for you. And if you're looking for a slow autofocus lens, this is not for you either. So this is a totally manual focus lens, which is built like a tank. We're gonna get to it in a bit. And it's quite a specialized lens, I would say, but a lovely one nonetheless. First, maybe I would like to talk a little bit about the construction. So it's full metal. I just weighted it, and this clocks at a little bit less than 600 grams, which is about 50% more than the Olympus 12 to 40 f2.8, which is a great lens, which is very well built as well, so you can imagine. So this is a big piece of glass. And I guess that you wouldn't like to put this into the smaller Micro Four Thirds body like GM1, GM5 or the Olympus EPLs. Of course you can mount it there, but it's gonna be super unbalanced. As I said, it's all metal, the mount is metal, the whole barrel is metal, the focusing ring is metal, the ring to change the aperture is metallic as well. It's built like a tank, and if you ask me, the design is beautiful. There's actually 4 different lenses in the same collection. There's the 42.5, which is the one I have. There's a 17.5mm, a 25mm, and I think that there's a 10 or 10.5mm as well. All of them manual lenses, all of them built like tanks, beautiful lenses by Voigtlander. Besides the build quality, which is amazing in these lenses, one thing I really like is actually the physical design. Now, they are not just beautiful, but the focusing ring is really practical and easy to grab. And it has some ribs that remind me of some old Nikkor lenses or some different Voigtlander lenses. For example, here I have mounted in my FM3A the Voigtlander 58mm 1.44 Nikon mount, and it has the similar style of focusing ring, which is it's really nice to use. It's super smooth, and I always thought that I'm not gonna find a lens which is as nice as this one to use, but this proved me wrong. So that's another good point for the lens. Then one of the amazing things is the aperture, which goes all the way up to 0.95. I'm not gonna do the calculations of what does the equivalent depth of field that you would get compared to a full frame lens. So in full frame you would get to have probably something like 1.2 or so. But anyway, what this gives you is razor sharp depth of field. And nowadays that the word cinematic is used to describe things which are buttery smooth and with thin depth of field, so this will work wonders. I'm not saying that that's the definition of cinematic, but this is gonna work for you if that's what you intend to use the lens for. When it comes to video, it has 2 very useful features. So one of them is the aperture ring, that it's declicked if you want, and you can also set it up that it has hard stops, so it's actually your choice, which is great. And the other one is how long the focus throw of the focus ring is. I'll focus all the way, so this is all the way focused in at its closest distances, which is, by the way, 0.23 meters, so its focus is very close. We're gonna get into that as well, so we're gonna make a test. And now check, I'm gonna move it from here up to infinity. And still rotating, and there we go. And that's really useful when you want to have really precise focusing for video, if you want to do some rack focusing or such. So this is a really useful feature to have, especially when you consider how thin the depth of field can get with this crazy wide aperture. So we've talked a little bit about the build quality, which is amazing. Then some of the features, which again, it doesn't have much. It's a fully manual lens. The declicked aperture is nice, the focus ring is nice, but that's about it. And I think that we could try to get some tests. Now you just saw some of shots I got from this lens using the GH5, and the aperture was set at 0.95, which gives that super thin depth of field. And here, because it was in daylight, I think that my shutter speed was like crazy high, maybe 1/1000. But since I was going super slowly, just trying to get things in focus, the motion blur was not a problem anyway. But something I really have to get for this lens is an ND filter. otherwise I'm not gonna get much of it, especially in that light. I also used this lens a few days ago in my portrait/selfie video, among other things because of its focal length. So it's 42.5, which in Micro Four Thirds it gives the equivalent field of view of an 85mm in full frame, which is a very nice lens, or a very nice focal length in my opinion for portraits. So that's why I used it for that video. A challenge there, because I was shooting myself with manual focus, was how to get myself into focus. So I had the aperture for the video at 1.4, which is still very open. Maybe not so much for this lens because it can go still to 0.95, but still 1.4 is fairly open. So I was using my phone and the image app from Panasonic, since I was shooting with the GH5, and then I was just using the focus assist features, looking at the phone to make sure that I'm in focus before I start speaking. So definitely useful to use it for self-shooting video, but it requires a little bit more work, and I don't know how I would do it without having a secondary screen that has focus peaking, or if the camera would be moving. So to shoot videos with this and shoot myself, I'm gonna go always to tripod, definitely. When it comes to image samples, so I think that you can take a look at those couple of videos. There are gonna be links in the end of this video probably. So one was a quick overview of how creamy the footage is from this lens, and the other video is about taking those portraits. And I think that now, if I mount it into my GH80, I can show you one of my favorite features of this lens as well. Besides the build quality and the general awesomeness, which is how close can it focus. It doesn't get into macro territory, but really close. So let's get into it. Alright, so now I have it mounted into the GH80, turn it on. Because it's a absolutely manual lens, it has no context whatsoever, the camera doesn't recognize it, so it's asking me whether I want to change the focal length or not, so no need because I mounted it before. And let's see what we can do with it. I'll put it at 0.95, so and I'm going to try to focus at the camera which is shooting me right now. You'll see that it's going to take a while to get there, since now I have the focus ring in the absolute closest position. So if I try, I can get close, and this is alright, starting to get in focus. Alright, now this is in focus, so what I'm going to try to show you now is how close this thing can get. So now I'm just shooting the cap of the lens. Now you can see in the video how close is the closest focusing distance. And this is a really cool feature when it comes to video. And it's useful for me because sometimes I do those videos when I light things in miniature and I'm using like small figurines. So being able to get this close and get this crazy shallow depth of field can be really helpful to produce really cool effects. Alright. I hope you enjoyed this video about this amazing Voigtlander 42.5 f/0.95 Micro Four Thirds mount. And if you liked it, please hit subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time for more videos. Thank you!